really liked Conducting Life. I think when it comes to music, conductors really are kind of like the unsung heroes, really piecing together the entire group, and you get a very close look at the conductor Roderick, and you get a close look over several years of his life. So taking that time to document him is really a feat within itself. Like outside of Boyhood, I've never really seen that be done. So I really commend you for that. That's it's really crazy to see in a project. Obviously, the score for this is going to be phenomenal because it is because of the subject matter. So not only was it really great, it fit really well with the piece, and it timed out all very well. It was just a very well-rounded piece, looking at this individual and paced correctly, and watching him grow throughout his life and his career, and how music goes with him. And I think it's just a really interesting story. And it was really, really lovely to watch and put together so well. The editing, the cinematography, just it's a really class piece. It's really good. Well done.
The reviews for Conducting Life. This film has beautiful footage from iconic cities in different parts of the world, and then we have this character that's outstanding. Roderick, his conducting career and the people around him, the family, musicians, and particularly interesting for me was to see the teachers and mentors that provided him guidance, instruction, and above all, well, were tough on him, telling him how to be really better, how to improve, and not maybe not cutting him any slack, which made him who he is now. I love to see this evolution from previous year. You have some pictures, some footage of how it was, how young he felt, and innocent. I don't know. I love those footages, the footage from the classroom in previous years. He was getting the guidance from someone, a teacher, and then he was able to channel his passion and pursue excellence. He followed his dreams, and he got to found his style. And the style he found is magnificent. You can see him; he's really on his zone. You also see how devoted he is, how joyful everything is when he's conducting, and how he just gives himself all the way, and also gives back, paving the way for others to see themselves in his shoes and the countless possibilities if you just pursue your dreams. And you, yeah, this was very emotional. I loved learning about Roderick, and kudos for him and everyone that's been involved in helping him get there. And of course, to him, an applause for being such a role model for a lot of people.
Conducting Life. I really, really liked this. I think that it's one of those professions that you don't ever really think about. You don't ever hear about it growing up as even like an option. And so to get to learn more about the process, because it is an incredibly specialized job and an incredibly probably saturated and cutthroat like job pool of people wanting to be conductors, but to do it professionally as your, you know, like career, I imagine is very, very hard to get into, as they talked about in the film. So getting to hear not just more facts about how to do it or what's it about, because I think it's one of those jobs that none of us really know about. We don't ever really think about it, what goes into it, what you have to understand to be able to do it. And so getting to know the journey, the struggle, some of the different aspects of being a conductor, what they're, you know, kind of in charge of, and getting to know all of that and learning all of that while you're kind of on this journey with this particular person, I thought was really great. I loved how it was put together. They had an unbelievable access. You got to really see the background and what goes on behind the scenes, and I thought that was really amazing. I really loved it. I thought it was well put together. It drove the story forward. It drove the point. You learned, but it didn't get stale. I really enjoyed it. It kept my attention the entire time. I thought it was fantastic.
Conducting Life is a beautiful and really inspiring documentary. I enjoyed it from a musical perspective. There's really great music all throughout the piece, and I think it does a great job of showing the composer's passion for composing and for music. I love how we get to hear his story and the struggles that he's overcome. It makes for really, really inspiring story that I think a lot of young people would find inspiring as well to watch. I think this would be a great documentary to spread wide and far. And I loved it visually. It's just not only a treat for the ears, but also a treat for the eyes with the choice of images included. Really, really great documentary.
I thought Conducting Life was really, really great. It was so fascinating to see a documentary follow someone, Roderick, through 7 years of his life, and I can't believe, you know, how high quality it is and that you made this over 7 years. I think that's absolutely amazing, and I was astounded. I really liked that jumping in. Maybe I don't know that much about composing, but you didn't really know who this person was or why there's a documentary about them or why we're following them, and it slowly unfolded slowly, and I think that was great because it made me really capture it, and I was really on the edge of my seat going, okay, why are we following this person? Why do we care? And I, over this documentary grew to really love and care about Roderick's story, and so that was really well done. Obviously the music is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, it was warm, it was kind, and it was generous, and I loved it.
Hey, my name is Nick Arcero, and I'm commenting on the documentary short Conducting Life. First of all, I just want to say how cool it is to see a documentary made with this level of access to the subject. To get to follow somebody for 7 years is just remarkable in its own right. And I think it has the effect of just producing such like a comprehensive and detailed and in-depth portrait of Roderick. It's very cool to see. I can't think of many documentaries that have that level of access over that period of time. So it's really, really unique in that regard. Honestly, the only real area I think you could really improve this would be just in establishing who Roderick is at the beginning of the documentary, rather than just launching sort of into his childhood and his family. I think coming into this cold, you need to give us a reason to care about Roderick. And I understand that a lot of people who watch this will be aware of what the documentary is about ahead of time, but that's not your entire audience. And I think it's just really important to give us like sort of an overview of who this guy is going to grow into by the end of the documentary, and really who he's going to become as a composer, and then that just establishes the why do we care for everything else that we see, which is great and just very cool.
I think conducting is one of those very elusive arts, if you will. It's something that a very small population of people get into, and I think that there's not that much public knowledge on what exactly goes into conducting an orchestra. So this film, at least for me, really highlighted the path that one has to take in order to become a conductor, and I really appreciated that. I also enjoyed hearing just Roderick's perspective and his story in general, especially considering that he's a Black man entering a very white-dominated space. I think that in itself is, something that he should pat himself on the back for, but just being able to see from the beginning of this film how hard he had to work, the hardships that he faced, and then ending with all the accolades that he's managed to achieve, and also just all the different places that he's been able to conduct and guest conduct. I think that was a really beautiful story arc to see, despite this film being so short. So yeah, I really appreciated that, and I personally will be on the lookout for him to see if he's ever in an area close by to me.